Climate change is one of the biggest challenges our generation faces. It's a fact that water and water-based ecosystems are really affected by the pollution, and with them we are also exposed to danger. That's why not only one, but three of the SDGs proposed by the United Nations put in their main focus the water and climate protection. Hi, my name is Rosie.
And my name is Daniel, and together we work with the NGO Playa Limpia in generating environmental consciousness in the citizens through beach cleanups. For now, they work only in Lima, but we help them to expand to other regions, rivers, and also lakes.
To reach this goal, Dani and I brought together with social science background with the market research tools. We applied surveys, in-depth interviews, social listening tools, and through our findings, co-created our solutions in a design workshop.
The solutions we propose are applicable and close to the target needs because we co-created them with the target. We know that our findings will help Playa Limpia drive society to actively protect our natural resources because we are all together for Playas Limpias.
Hello, Daniel. Hello, Rosie. I want to give you a really warm welcome to this interview of SMR. Daniel and Rosie are the winners of RGT 2022 in Peru. And we are super excited to have you here and get to know you both a little bit more, and also the great project that you have done, which is called Closing the Climate Gap. So the floor is yours, guys. Please introduce yourself and let us know a little bit more about you. Did you know each other before, and how did you came up with this great project?
Hi, Paula. Thank you for inviting us to share our experience in research of talent. Well, I am Rosie. I study sociology. Um, I think it's the first time that we do a project together. And before this project, we have never met, but we study at the same faculty.
Yes, if I may add, we are both social scientists. Rosie, as she said, is a sociologist, and I'm an anthropologist, cultural anthropologist. So we studied in the same faculty, in the same university, but we didn't actually met. Rosie made even some like previous projects with some friends of mine, some colleagues, but it was through marketing research and market research that we met each other and we had the opportunity to work towards this goal. So it was a fun experience and it was really fun meeting her.
Yeah, actually, indeed, sociology is really connected to this huge issue that is affecting human life, but also non-human life. And was it easy to find an approach to this worldwide issue for you?
I think that it wasn't. It was one of the main problems we had because many approaches to tackling this issue have been made already. We have many initiatives from different parts of the world. So trying to innovate as well as saving what was previously well done was a hard work. We tried to combine our social research background with our new marketing tools so we could improve the approach and the closeness to the population so we could gather better insights. I think we did it pretty well at the end, but I wouldn't say it was an easy work. I think that it demanded some hours of sitting down and reflecting about what was the best way to approach this problem. And that's something I would recommend to anyone to sit down and think about the approach.
And for example, starting from the very bottom, what were the steps for you to start working with the NGO called Playa Limpia?
Okay, before sorry, before the contest, we didn't know about the NGO, about the problem. Here in APIN and prepare the contest. Um, Indeed, they show about the NGO. It was new. It was a surprise for us, and then we have to connect our backgrounds with the research tools that Daniel mentioned. That's all. It was a big challenge for the first time to know about the NGO.
And also regarding the methodology that you used, you have interviewed and you have connected with loads of volunteers. Have you find to be environmental issues a big problem or a big concern for Peruvians at these days?
Well, we expected that being Peru, like really uh, natural country, like with multiple ecosystems, people would have like a really close connection to environmental issues. But what we discovered through first the surveys and then the interviews is that actually not much people is interested or has developed the environmental consciousness that the volunteers have. Volunteers are like 10 steps further than regular Peruvians on climate conservation. And this is actually a big trouble for Peru in the next few years because it means that we have a pending educational challenge with our citizens. And we are really glad that Playa Limpia actually tackles this challenge because even though one of its goals is to do ocean cleanups and beach cleanups, their real main goal is to generate consciousness and educate the population through these activations. Uh, so it was weird for us because we were like with really high hopes of seeing a population that really wants to protect their environment. But we realized that nowadays Peruvians are closer to other issues as are economical, health, and political ones, and are kind of forgetting of climate change. But we think that the activations and work pending to generate consciousness must be done, and that Playa Limpia is tackling this issue with help of other actors. We can do it.
So, on top of that, of what Daniel has just explained, which is really sad that people are not aware of the dimension of this issue and don't put environmental issues as a main priority in their life. But on top of that, you have found that the pandemic has really affected this NGO of Playa Limpia, and that currently is still recovering from this crisis. Do you think there is the possibility to create more awareness of this issue in the future?
Yes, of course, because in the research we find people wants to be a volunteer about this kind of topic. Also, education is a priority to involve like a volunteer. I think we are affected in our country by the climate change. Uh, Maybe the NGO try to communicate about the problems of the crisis of the climate change. Maybe people could be more awareness about this problem, and also they expand their job in other cities in our country because we have a lot of beaches in the north Peru, and they are more to a lot of they're really beautiful. People go to there on the summer. It's not only for relaxing. No, we have to protect our beaches. Also, no human life.
Of course. And not only you did interview and connected with volunteers, but you actually worked with them, right? You managed to coordinate with volunteers and with the NGO and actually put in practice all that you have learned and clean some beaches. Would you say that the expectations of all these volunteers, no, the experience of all these volunteers met their expectations when working with you and the project of this NGO?
Yeah, we were really happy and really fond of including volunteers in part of our research, not only as interviewees, but as part of the creators of the end results. I think that's something that we carry from social science, always trying to make like bottom up solutions. We gathered through the interviews and even before the interviews with a survey that we only applied to volunteers from Playa Limpia's database, that the takeaway of doing the beach cleanup was the actual group experience and the satisfaction of like seeing the trash you have gathered, of measuring, of like weighting the trash. This gave the people a sense of group development and group satisfaction that wasn't comparable to any other experiences. And through the workshop, we saw ways that we could magnify and amplify this like really good feeling, so we can expand it to new volunteers and we can make current volunteers stay on their organization longer. We think that the workshop, I don't want to be like pretentious about it, but we think that it worked like really well. We saw the volunteers engage with the activities that we planned, and we also had the participation of the leader of the NGO. And everyone was participating, giving their opinions, like saying, "Hey, I didn't like this about the cleanups. I did like this. I think that other people could like this." So all this sharing, I think it was wonderful for the end results of our investigation, and I think that the main takeaway of this is that we shouldn't think less of group experiences. The emotional part of an experience, it's a really important part of that experience. And especially with volunteer work, we have to improve the emotional part of people, because we don't approach volunteers thinking about earning money or earning fame. We approach them because we have a feeling that we want to help, and we have to embrace that feeling and amplify it.
And I'm sure this also helped the NGO receiving feedback on how to improve directly from the volunteers, this practice experience. So I personally find it a really great idea. And to end this interview, I'm going to make the last question in Spanish for our Spanish audience. Eh, bueno, y estoy segura de que este proyecto que habéis hecho, que es tan amplio y a la vez tan complicado, no fue todo un camino de rosas, no fue todo bonito, y estoy segura de que os tuvisteis que enfrentar a muchos challenges. ¿Queréis contarle a la audiencia alguno de estos que destacara por su dificultad o que pues en algún momento sí os costase?
Bueno, quizás esta pregunta podemos responderla ambos. No, yo por mi lado, es algo que dentro de las conversaciones que tuvimos con Daniel frente a los retos, era ese tema de dirigir, ¿no? Finalmente liderar nuestro proyecto. Nosotros recibimos el apoyo, la ayuda de muchos sponsors aquí en Perú, pero finalmente dirigir el estudio era nuestra responsabilidad, ¿no? Entonces, más allá, creo, bueno, incluyendo los aprendizajes a nivel metodológico, las experiencias como el workshop y el acercamiento a nuevas metodologías, ¿no? Que estamos aprendiendo dentro de nuestro camino laboral en investigación de mercados, ha sido eso, ¿no? O sea, finalmente liderar nuestro proyecto. Para mí ha sido uno de los mayores retos y bueno, ha sido demasiado gratificante compartirlo con Daniel, todo este aprendizaje, ¿no?
Habéis conocido a gente espectacular, además de que habréis ganado muchísimos conocimientos técnicos en cuanto a la investigación de mercado y sobre todo el poder de organización que seguro que habéis adquirido, porque coordinar a una ONG, a los voluntarios, todo ese trabajo estoy segura de que no fue nada fácil, pero habéis llegado hasta aquí, así que estoy segura de que ha merecido la pena. Daniel, ¿querrías destacar tú algún reto que para ti fuera, pues, sí, que te llamara la atención o que no te esperases en este camino?
Sí, o sea, bueno, en primer lugar suscribir el reto de Rosy, el reto de asumir la organización de un proyecto a este nivel, a esta magnitud, fue nuevo para nosotros. Y tal y como dices, organizar a los diferentes actores involucrados en la investigación también plantea un reto en sí mismo. Igual Rosy y yo estamos muy agradecidos con toda la gente que nos acompañó. Si bien acá estamos nosotros dando las entrevistas, la gente de API, Datum, Ipsos, CPI, todas las organizaciones que nos apoyaron en verdad al realizar este proyecto han sido invaluables para nosotros. Este, porque finalmente somos dos investigadores, no podríamos haber aplicado todas las encuestas por nuestra cuenta, ¿no? Este, pero ese ha sido un reto increíble y yo creo que otro reto también viene del lado de la investigación al momento de chocarte con tus expectativas y tus hipótesis iniciales. Por ejemplo, a nosotros nos chocó bastante encontrar esto de que mediante las encuestas la gente no estaba involucrada en el tema ambiental y en verdad lo ponían casi como una de las últimas problemáticas que sentían. Y eso redefinió nuestros próximos focos de la investigación, ¿no? Nos obligó a replantear los pasos siguientes porque nosotros esperábamos otra respuesta o creíamos que iba a ser distinto. Creo que estos retos son naturales de cualquier investigación y a nosotros nos enseñó nuevamente a cómo replantear las cosas. Es algo que siempre vamos a, creo que, venir aprendiendo porque lo más chévere de hacer investigación con fuentes primarias es que siempre te sorprenden, ¿no? La gente siempre te va a decir cosas nuevas. Esa es parte de la riqueza, pero también es creo que el mayor reto.
Claro que sí. Claro que sí. Bueno, pues la verdad es que muchísimas gracias por dar voz a este tema que no solamente afecta a Perú, nos está afectando a todos. So thank you for all the interview, for giving voice, raise awareness of this huge issue, and also, of course, thank you to all the participants of your job, of your project, the NGO, and thank you for taking part of this interview. Hope to see you next year in RGT.
Thanks to you, Paula. It was great to participate in this interview, and we are really glad to share our findings and our experience with other people.
Thank you, Paula. It was a pleasure to share with you all the values, our experience. Thank you. Thank you for that.